Okay, we are back on the John D. Villarreal Radio Show. I am John D. Villarreal on 1210 AM Miami, the man, the only station where you are the man. Okay, like I said at the top of the show, we're get ready, get your pen and paper ready right here. If you're a political junkie, if you don't know what's going on, if you want to be the smartest person in the room, if you want to know what's up when you go to work about this whole thing, get ready to write, or if you're on your computer, whatever like that. We are going hot. We are going live right now on all of this. So I set it up, and now we're going to dive deep into it. The never-ending media/DNC created Trump scandals. Again, all my personal opinion only. Look at all the disclaimers. It applies to everything on any medium ever that I'm going to post. Right, here we go. The election-related, what I would call quote-unquote scandals, if you will. And then it's a hodgepodge of a lot of different things, and that's kind of not the exact accurate term, but we're just using that as a sort of a cliff note thing right here. First of all, the polls were way off, right? No major media sources that I can remember predicted his win. I predicted his win. I cover this stuff. I've been very, very deep into politics for a long time. And obviously was a Trump supporter early on. And again, I don't approve of everything he says and the way and the manner and everything like that. I do think that Trump has improved, but I think I thought that Trump was absolutely needed. I thought that Trump was certainly needed vis-a-vis Hillary Clinton. We didn't need any more Clinton or Bush dynasties or anything like that. I think that it's healthy to have some change in a constitutional republic such as we have now. I don't believe in dynasties. I don't believe in aristocracies, et cetera, like that. So I thought that was very important, and I saw that the movement, and I saw what he was doing, and I saw how he was reaching out. And again, I grew up as a young kid in outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so steel country, coal country, union country. I knew the devastation that had happened to those communities, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, all of which Trump won. And I understood the message that he was sending to people coast to coast, to be involved, to be able to participate in this system, right? That there was a breakdown, that the powers that be, if you will, the elites were overlooking the common person, were overlooking the working person. And I understood how those communities, how Trump's policies were really speaking to those communities. But again, I don't want to go into the politics of it. I don't want to go into that. I want to talk about, this. We'll do that another show. We have plenty of election, and we're going to go into that, and I will do my political prognostications. And again, this is part of I'll do an Ask a Super Genius series. This is part of the political hit right now, the political examination right now. So this is part of that, and will appear on YouTube as such. So when we talk about the election-related scandals, the polls were way off, right? When Trump won, the media were absolutely shocked. He didn't know what to do. The next move right after that, like very quickly after the shock wore off, we moved right into, hey, the electors don't have to vote for Trump. We have the Electoral College. The electors don't have to vote for Trump. And right there, think of what a massive attack on democracy, constitutional republic, that is. So here we are. We've already had elections. We know the system. You have to have 270, I think 70, 71. I got to look it up to be exact. Electors, if you get those based upon the states that you win, and that's basically based upon, congressional seats and Senate seats and everything like that. So if you get that, you win. That's it. So when you win a state's popular vote, you get their electoral votes. And there's some different apportionment. Some are winner take all. Some are apportion and apportion. There's different rules. But I don't want to get too Byzantine into it. Essentially, if you win a state, if the voters vote for you in that state, you win that state. You get the electoral votes, and that's what goes to. And then when you get 270, 71. You win the presidency, that's the deal. And Trump got over like 300, right? I think 303 or something like that. I gotta look it up. And now they're saying, hey, the electors don't have to vote for him. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Real people, there was shows on this type of stuff, right? On the various cable channels that we can, we know what channels those are. And you think what a massive attack on democracy that is. And then as soon as that wasn't gonna work, and there was talk about literally lobbying and finding out who those electors are and stuff like that. And, voting in conscience. There was like op-eds and stuff like that. Think of how crazy that is. Trump's not even in office yet. You think of how crazy that is. Think of what an attack on your vote that is. What an attack on your freedom and liberty that is. That's huge. So then we move right into, hey, we got to get rid of the Electoral College. They're going to vote, the electors are going to elect, we got to get rid of this Electoral College. And again, we can have a debate and discussion on that, but I think, it's in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution for a reason. And I'm a fan of the Electoral College. Why? Because if you get rid of the Electoral College, you're going to have candidates just camp out in Texas, Florida, definitely California, and New York. Pretty much it. Maybe go to some of the other big cities, Chicago, Houston, etc. And that's it. Good luck Iowa, good luck New Hampshire. That party's done. That's over. And there's something to be said, a lot rather, to be said for a United States, right? That the kind of situations and issues and concerns you may have in Nebraska could be very different than you have in Beverly Hills, California. And there's a lot of shared things that we have, but there's some differences, and it's good to get a mix of representation, and that's why you have 2 senators from every state, even though we have different levels of population, stuff like that. Yes, the congressional seats are apportioned by population, stuff like that, but I believe, I'm almost positive, that every state has to have at least 1 congressional representative. And there's a lot to that, right? There's a lot to that. These presidential candidates do have to go around to all these various states or a lot of them anyway, a majority of them, and just kind of meet the people and get some kind of understanding of what's going on. And yeah, I've seen enough, we've all seen the Iowa Fair and this and that, whatever, but there's a lot to that. And listen, I grew up, I did 4-H, I did the whole thing, and I think there's clear about, even if they're pandering like some of these silly things that we've seen before and stuff like that, and I'm not saying that's good, but just to be getting some exposure to the variety and the diversity that is America, I think is a good thing. Other than that, you're just going to have people raising huge money, hitting TV. You do just popular vote, TV, digital, this and that, whatever, pushing buttons and doing all that, and there's going to be very, very what they call retail politics, meaning that shaking hands, doing all that type of stuff, doing town halls. It's going to be very much media warfare, raising money, stuff like that. I got to keep moving quicker here, but so they want to get rid of the Electoral College. That's a little bit on the Electoral College. Then we had the Billy Bush tape. Sorry, let me say that again. The Billy Bush tape. One more time. The Billy Bush tape. Just want to make sure I said that name right. October surprise. And we'll get to that more when we talk about the various relatives of politicians that are in the media and how that all has gone down recently. And that whole thing. And then we had Stormy Daniels and her lawyer, former lawyer, Michael Avenatti. And that all went the way that it went, but it was a circus for a while. And where's Michael Avenatti now? There was talk that he was going to run for president and all that type of stuff. And the media were talking him up, and he was great. And he appeared on all these cable shows. Where's Michael Avenatti now? And we also had the resistance march right after the election. And we had the hats, and we had the resistance march, and here we go, right after the election. And again, think about that. Like, you can like Trump, not like Trump, like a president, not like a president with Clinton, Obama, Bush, whatever. But to have this kind of heavy-duty march, listen, it's free speech. People can do whatever they want. That's fine. Americans can do whatever they want. They can go peaceably, organize, everything like that. I'm just saying you got to look at all this stuff because it's never ending. It started during the campaign, and it's nonstop. It continues. So this whole latest thing, Ukraine, the impeachment, it's all a piece of it. We've also had the public bullying of administration people and GOP. Sarah Sanders kicked out of a restaurant in Northern Virginia. Ted Cruz and his wife harassed at a restaurant and caught on camera, and people think that's great. I believe Secretary DeVos was also harassed. Trump, during the campaign, he had to go around and do different things to escape some of these protesters and stuff like that. Tucker Carlson from Fox News and all kinds of, and the Daily Caller was basically, his house was, I guess, protested in the middle of the night when he was away. That's a scary situation. Leader McConnell, He had protesters on the lawn of his house, stuff like that. This is insane. And I don't recall this happening to Democrats. And I'm sure there's examples, and I would say that it's bad there too. But it's happening like way more now, and way more intensely. And let's also talk about the resistance to a duly elected president. Let's talk about former Deputy AG Sally Yates. I believe, she's no longer there. I got to look at the circumstances and all that type of stuff. But I think that there was didn't want to do what Trump wanted to do. It's like, dude, you work for Trump. That's it. Now, he's not a dictator or anything like that, but he's president. He can make the policy and you carry it out. Comey, McCabe, all the rest. We know what happened with all that stuff. With that's come out in the Mueller report and the milieu since then. We've had federal district judges that, in my opinion, sometimes possibly may be acting like the Supreme Court, where one judge in one place, one single district judge, federal district judges, they're accomplished and they have their role, no doubt about it, everything like that. But when one judge can basically shut down policy for the nation, that's pretty extraordinary. And a lot of that stuff, if I remember correctly, hasn't worked out so well when it's gone all the way up to appellate courts and Supreme Court. Because, what happened to regular order? You can't have these judges aren't dictators either, right? They don't get to just do whatever they want to do. Then we had the whole Russia hoax and ad nauseum iterations of that. And then we had all Trump major appointments have to recuse themselves if they're blocking resistance, AG Sessions, all the rest of them. We've had super leakers. We've always had leakers in these kind of things, but you've had leaking to the nth degree in this administration. It's just been insane. Okay? On and on and on, and they're trying to get some of that done. But again, this is all done to hurt the president. And where are they coming from? Are they coming from the intelligence community? Are they coming from people that don't like Trump that are in the inside? We had that anonymous op-ed in the New York Times. It's been insane. How do you think about that? How does this work for America when you have calls to foreign leaders that are put out there? That's not good for any of us. You have to, I'm all for sunshine and stuff like that, but you have to have a certain amount of ability to transact. There are some secrets, right? There are some secrets. You have to be able to transact foreign policy, et cetera, like that. We've had let's impeach Trump over the emoluments clause. Again, this dude's a billionaire. He's got properties all over the globe. He's got a brand that's global. I don't know how you totally escape, how everyone in the administration, how everyone in the GOP, how everyone connected to anyone or might be talking to the government is going to escape all of Trump properties and everywhere. If you go to Vegas, you go to AC, you go to New York, you may run into a Trump name somewhere. It's not that hard to do it, right? And Florida, same thing. We also had the Kavanaugh debacle. I got to wrap this up pretty quick, and we'll hit more on the next one. That whole thing, that was insane. The way that was done. And there's been books. Molly Hemingway wrote a book about this with another author of how that was all a scam. And the way the Kavanaugh thing's going down, it's very much like this whole Ukraine thing's going down. Oh, someone hooked up with with Feinstein's office and they knew about it potentially, in my opinion. And then it was after the whole hearing and Kavanaugh went through. Okay, now we're going to put this back and now we're going to reopen it. And it was a total circus. And they slimed that dude in the whole thing that went there. And some of these things have been debunked. And again, I'm not making any judgment on the facts, but we had an error on the facts and he's still in the Supreme Court. That's all I can say about that, right? But then after that, now recently, now they're talking about impeaching Justice Kavanaugh. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. Maybe that was back with FDR stuff when they were threatening to pack the court. I don't know, but this is at no time in the modern era have we seen anything like that. And then Ukraine, we've had this as an impeachment kickoff, and we'll talk about the impeachment, in my opinion, scam in the next segment. But as part of that, they're saying, hey, AG Barr, maybe you've got to recuse, or maybe we'll impeach you. Secretary Pompeo, maybe you've got to recuse, or we'll impeach you. It's nonstop. It's non-stop. So this is a piece of all of this stuff. And I'll say this one, the Ukraine, I'll touch on this to tease it for the next segment real quick. Didn't we have years and years of the Mueller report and Mueller investigation and special counsel looking into all of this? So there was no hint of any of this Ukraine stuff. It didn't really come up. It wasn't even. And then all of a sudden, just so convenient. Just as the Mueller report is winding down, immediately, well, Trump goes and does something crazy. So after years and years of all this investigation and craziness hanging over the administration, as soon as Mueller never sees or hears anything about this that we report on to any serious degree, in my opinion, as soon as that winds down, bam, Trump goes and does the craziest thing alleged immediately, and we wind up into this. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? It's like if you were pulled over by a police officer, and okay, you weren't speeding. You go, okay, great. You get off with a warning. The first thing you're going to do is just speed 100 miles an hour right in front of them. I mean, that's just, or her. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to talk about in my opinion, the impeachment scam. That segment. You're listening to John D. Villarreal Radio Show on 1210 AM Miami, The Man, the only station where you are the man.